Hi, it's Elias from Win Ahead. And last week we were telling the punters to open their eyes and look for some value against broadsiding with some up-and-comers and horses with scope for improvement at value. And although that wasn't such a bad advice with a horse like Bastutsto, sort of, even though we didn't point him out, fitting that profile and paying $460 for a place, what can Win Ahead open their eyes and learn from? We were showing how broadsiding last start had a beautiful run behind some other runners, how McDonald gave him a very efficient run in the race. And what were we thinking to think that McDonald wouldn't give him the perfect run in the race again and have him in that sweet spot? And there were question marks on the firm track. He had to be a little bit closer to the pace, couldn't get out of his ground like he did the other times on the wet track. From barrier 1, he would have wanted to get out in the middle track, which he did. So he had these things to overcome. But just as you think you know how good McDonald is, he shows you they can even be better than what you think. With a variety on rides, he led on one and gets back. No matter what the circumstances, the variety of rides he showed over the last 2 weeks in Eagle Farm, depending on the barrier draw, depending on the way the track was playing, and gave those horses the perfect run, was unbelievable. With like another efficient ride on broadsiding. Another example was Valana. Both of them won by big margins, and we saw Valana in the Stradbroke, maybe didn't back up 7 days, but again, the difference when you're giving a horse an efficient ride. It's true these jockeys, horses travel for them, but it's a lot more than that. These jockeys, they get the horses to travel, but they give them a very efficient run in the race. Very rarely will they do a mid-race move because they're already in the position they need to be. Just because there's a very strong pace on front, it's not guaranteed the back markers are going to make up that ground, especially if they're way out of their ground. It's physically impossible for that horse to run those sectionals, as we saw Pride of Jenny really show an example of that. So these jockeys know how fast they're travelling. They also know how fast the opposition are travelling, and they know where they need to be on the run, if they need to be closer, further back, or even if it's fast run race, not too far back out of there's a zone. You probably don't want to be more than 8 lengths out of a zone of a fast run race. You're too far back. So lesson learned. I think when you've got an elite jockey riding, and I mean elite, I'm talking Shin, McDonald's, cars, etc. There's not a lot of. There's maybe six, 7 jockeys in Australia could fit that mould max. D Lane when he's in form. Do we need to put so much focus as a punter on speed maps? Do we need to worry about track biases, inside draw, outside draw? When you got the elite on, don't get put off by these selections, especially with value. Win Ahead's all about value. Don't totally rule them out. We saw a beautiful ride with Steffi Magnetica and Zach Lloyd. Was a great ride. He's an up-and-coming jockey too. You wouldn't put him in the mould of those elites yet, but that was an elite ride. And that goes on to our next things when you got mares in form and Win Ahead again. What can Win Ahead learn? We did our Stradbroke assessment, and although we gave Steffi Magnetica a great chance and definitely a bet at that price, we didn't have her in our top 4. We tipped all the Colts and Geldings, and we stayed away from the mares and fillies. Lesson number 2, they just keep dominating these mares and fillies. It's incredible. And they gap the rest of the field with Valana running 3rd. So it's just incredible how these mares or fillies are just dominating, even when you think the race is not set up for them to dominate. So quite incredible there. Quite incredible with Bella Nipotina. The way he's able to keep this mare up, performing. I've been against her every start with her, she started her campaign in February in Melbourne or Sydney, I can't remember. Went to Perth, came back to Brisbane. Her IVR ratings are +3. She hit that beating Win Ahead. I think she might have ran a 2.7 when she ran second to him, and then Stradbroke ran a 2.2. So she's slightly dropping off. Can they get her back to a top IVR +3 in the Tats Tiara? We'll find out. Maybe she doesn't need a +3 to win a Tats Tiara. So Ma, Bella Nipotina, hats off. The Ma stable staying with Gollan in Queensland. They got a 100-1 winner in the Oaks. That could have a big part of how well Bella Nipotina and some of Ma's horses are doing in Queensland, staying in the Gollan stable. That's a lesson learned. Do Ma horses, I know it's a bit strange to say, do Ma horses improve in Queensland with Gollan? They probably don't improve, but they probably go as well as if they're under Ma's watchful eye as well. So that's lesson number 2. Good luck, and we'll show our tips through for Saturday, and hopefully we've got our eye in for this Saturday coming up for you guys. Thanks, guys. All the best. Bye.